Hello, welcome back to my Facebook page, The Anxiety Princess, and my YouTube channel, where we're talking about everything and anything that has to do with mental illness. We're basically tapping into our emotions in order to determine what could potentially be causing our mental health related illnesses. My name is Tameka Militana Hankerman, and let me just say, welcome to the new people that joined us this week. Feels good to say this week because I've been trying to be very consistent and releasing videos every Sunday now. So I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud that I've given you guys basically 4 videos in the last month. That is super impressive. It's been a busy Sunday because yesterday I was down. I went for my second jab on Friday, and then I was feeling very sick yesterday. Well, not sick. I was very fatigued. So I was basically drifting in and out of sleep the whole day. So today I felt so much better, and I've been a super wife the whole morning. Got up, I made food for the whole week. We have realized that making food for the whole week saves us time in the week. So it's so convenient. So I just thought, let me cook for the week again. And yeah, that's what super wives do. Anyways, let's just so I've welcomed the new people, and let me just say to the new people, I hope you'll find what you're looking for on this channel. This is a very safe space. We're not experts in mental health, but we're basically just tackling a few topics just to see if there's anything that's been triggered from that, if there's anything we can learn from that, and if other people can actually talk about real life experiences. Everything I talk about is something that I've lived through my own journey. So with that being said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist or anybody who has been trained to deal with mental illness. I'm purely someone who was diagnosed with anxiety in March of 2019, and in October of 2020 this page was born. So on the 9th of October will be 1 year. That is super amazing. I didn't think we'd get to this point, to be honest. It was supposed to be 6 videos done and we move on to other things, but hey, a year later we're still here and we're growing, and such an overwhelming feeling. And as long as I still have something to say, the page will continue to happen. So welcome to our little mental health nation. So I got a request this week to bring back some of the written content that I used to post on Facebook, basically where I talk about techniques of doing certain things, whether it be journaling, whether it be breathing techniques, and so starting from this week I will try to upload on Wednesday the written content for you guys. I didn't think I don't know. I didn't know it was useful, but people wanted. So if you are coming across this video on YouTube and you actually are not following us on Facebook, please do. It's the Anxiety Princess on Facebook, and you'll be able to see that that content basically. And then I just thought it's very fitting for me to just explain this whole Facebook situation. I am currently not able to upload videos on Facebook. I don't know whether it's due to the size of the videos or what. Previously it kept on saying, we'll alert you when your posts have been posted, and then from last week, after I upgraded my software, I actually thought it would fix it, then it just says failed. So in the meantime, all videos have been posted on YouTube, and I profusely apologize. That was not my intention. I do want to keep the videos on both platforms. However, my hands are tied because I don't know how to fix it. So if you're someone who has actually dealt with a similar situation and you know how to solve it, please let me know so that I can actually fix it and upload the videos. Cool. So what are we talking about today? So today we are talking about helpful and harmful ways of managing emotions. We're talking about when I do my intro, I'm like, we're tapping into our emotions. But when we tap into our emotions, what do we mean by emotions? What are some of the most helpful and harmful emotions when it comes to mental illness, basically? Cool. So you're wondering, what is emotions? What is emotion? Emotions is whatever definition you give yourself. But my definition is it's a reaction of feeling to a certain event that basically affects your state of mind and your state of well-being. That's my definition. That's my definition. So it's basically how you react to a certain situation or event that basically contributes to the state of your mind and your well-being as a whole. Cool. So I do think that there's helpful emotions that actually contribute a significant factor to our well-being. It's basically those that make you happy, that bring out the best in you, where you're constantly laughing and you're happy and you're basically in check with the fun side of you. They're very useful in our well-being, in especially if you're someone who's suffering from mental health issues, because they break that cycle of constantly feeling a certain type of way. Because we suffer from mental health issues, we often feel a type of way. So helpful emotions are those ones that break the cycle, that break those type of feelings, basically. So if you knew, I do jot down what I'm saying, or jot down so that I don't forget what I want to say, in case you're wondering why does she keep looking that way. So it's very important to actually being able to differentiate between what's helpful and what's harmful. Sometimes even the helpful ones have a certain element of being harmful. Okay, what do I mean? So we're saying helpful ones are those ones that bring the laughter, the joy, and we're constantly laughing. Yeah, right? There are certain situations where someone will say something, right? And if it's something that makes us feel uncomfortable, you'll get a light giggle. You'll get a light giggle. You don't confront the situation if it's something that doesn't sit well with you. But at that point in time, you thought, let me do a subtle giggle. And you go home, and then what you thought was helpful at that point is no longer helpful, because now it's harmful, because you basically stuck in that moment. And what could you have said? What should you have said? You shouldn't have given that light giggle. You should have confronted. You see, now it was helpful for you to deal with it in that certain setup. However, when you are in your own space and you start thinking deep and deep and deep about it, it ends up being harmful. So with that said, it's very important to be in a position where you're able to differentiate between the helpful emotions when it comes to your well-being and those that are harmful to your well-being. I have mastered this one because I soon found out that, you know what, things that make me happy, I want to keep them. That make me genuinely happy, I want to keep them. I'm not the type of person to have a moment and giggle while something doesn't sit well with me. I'm very, you can call it confrontational, but that's me. I generally don't take nonsense. So that's me. So with that being said, there's also harmful ones, but in certain situations, it's always good to feel a bit of both, because those harmful ones you can actually sort of try to eliminate in your wellness journey. So it's very important that you feel a certain type of way. I'm not saying now let's purely concentrate on the most helpful emotions and ignore the harmful. There's no way of ignoring the harmful, because this is life. This is life and it's happening, and therefore we need to be able to manage both the helpful and the harmful, and to ensure that we contain the harmful in such a manner that it doesn't erupt into something where we basically don't even know where to start. Cool. So I jotted down two definitions where I think would basically define helpful emotions and harmful emotions. Cool. Helpful emotions, those that bring you joy, those that keep you in check and leave you content. That's basically my definition of it. Whenever I'm content and whenever I'm happy, that is helpful. So let's go back to our little example where I was talking about someone had said something, and in order to diffuse the situation or to manage what's happening, you do a light giggle. But that person, whatever they said, it doesn't sit well with you, right? So in order to avoid that helpful information at that point in time, helpful emotion at that point in time, to you going back to your house and thinking about it and it ends up being harmful, you confront the situation. You don't give a light giggle. You say, hold on, I don't like what you're saying because of A, B, and C. That's still a helpful reaction, because after you confront the person or you put the person in order, you feel content. Right? That's basically what I mean. When we allow things to escalate to a point where we can't contain it, that's when it becomes a harmful emotion, right? So I often talk about eliminating people that no longer serve your purpose, people that no longer aligned, people that no longer care about your well-being. If you're not eliminating those people in your life, removing them from your life, they basically bringing you all the harmful emotions associated with whatever you're going through on a daily. Right. Now let's get to my definition of what harmful emotions are. Those that dampen your mood and shift your state of mind into a sad place. So those are sparked by people and by events on its own. But in a lot of situations, it's people that actually bring out these kind of emotions. So I'm going to touch quickly on the helpful emotions, because I want to spend a little bit of time on the harmful emotions, right? Why are helpful emotions good? The first one is because they ensure that you're happy. And being happy shifts our focus from the constant state of panic. When I am happy, guys, my anxiety is at its lowest. That is one of the things that, I love laughing. I love situations that make me laugh. I love being, I'm the biggest clown, basically, because I love laughing. And then I married a clown as well. Do you get it? So we the two clowns, and we constantly just laughing. Do you get it? So that's the state in which then I'm like, I am happy and I'm thinking less about my mental wellness. Because when I'm thinking about my mental illness and I find myself sitting and, I'm not avoiding it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not avoiding it, but I'm not constantly thinking about it 24/7. Do you get it? Because there's someone and certain things that happen in my life that bring me joy, that makes me happy. And because my husband knows that I love laughing, he makes sure I'm constantly laughing. Do you get it? So helpful emotions, they actually are a good balance to that state of panic, because you think less about them. So my suggestion is to find things that make you happy. And when you're in that state of panic, you try to balance by the things that make you happy. Do you get it? Cool. The second thing is they balance the reality of life. That's why helpful emotions are good. Life is brutal, guys. Life is brutal. And thing is, we can't do anything to stop certain things that happen to us. And we actually need to endure and, go through those things. But those healthy, good helpful emotions, they break certain cycles. They break certain traumas that are happening in life. Do you get it? So life is hard on its own. I understand that. But when you're finding yourself, when you're laughing, when there's a loss in the family, let's say someone died, and you go back home to prepare for the funeral, that moment when you are with the whole family and you start reminiscing about certain things that have happened, you're laughing about it, it sort of breaks away from the reality that, oh, actually, we had to bury someone just for a split second. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with laughing when someone has died. I don't think in order for you to prove that you're grieving, you constantly need to be in a state where you all the time. Do you get me? So there's nothing wrong with laughing in during those times. So that's just, I'm making the most extreme example, but basically what I'm saying is it breaks away from the reality. You take a break from the heaviness of life, basically, with your helpful emotions. That's what I'm saying. And lastly, you basically start identifying things that bring you joy, that actually bring out those emotions. So it may be laughter, it may be um you know, however you associate your happiness. I associate mine with laughter, right? It could be anything that is, a beautiful feeling. That's basically what helpful emotions are. So once you start knowing which state is your happy place, right? You almost can identify the things that are not good for you, that or things that put you in a harmful state, or that put you or that bring out your harmful emotions. You can't be sad 24/7. I know it's not easy. Like, I can't say that because obviously I've never lived a day in your shoes or whatever. Um, However, you need to bring that source of happiness in your life. Just allow yourself a second, a moment to feel good in a day. Do you get it? I know you. I know life is hard, guys. I'm not saying life is not hard. Life is hard. But if you can't take a moment to bring out your helpful emotions, then you'll never be able to identify the harmful ones because you're constantly living in them. Do you get it? Cool. I didn't want to spend my time here. I'll take a few minutes to just talk about harmful emotions. I jotted down a few that I relate with: denial, withdrawal, separation, loneliness, seclusion, and fear. Those are the harmful emotions that are associated with mental health. Denial, all the time we're in denial about what's happening. Withdrawal, when it hits, we just want to withdraw. Seclusion, we just want to be alone. Loneliness, we're lonely because we don't want people around us. Remember, there's a difference between seclusion and loneliness. Go back to my videos. Go back to my videos if you want to know. Separation, where we just physically want to separate us from people that are reaching out to us, but we like, don't reach out to me. Don't reach out to me. And fear. Fear being the highlight, guys. For me, this week has been brutal. Like, my sleep anxiety has been out of control. Like, for the past 2 nights, I've been sleeping after 2 a.m. and waking up so early. I'm just like, what is happening? And it's constantly thinking about things that I have no control over. Story for another day. So those are the kind of emotions that we're talking about when you talk about harmful emotions. So how do you manage harmful emotions? 1, taking time to confront the event that triggered the emotion, right? You take it in, you confront it because it triggered that harmful. You know when something doesn't sit right with you. If someone says something to you and you giggle, and deep down, I don't like what this person say. And later it's going to be harmful. So I'm reverting back to my example now. Later it's going to be harmful. Instead of letting it get to that point when it's harmful, you take it in, confront the person because they're triggering a harmful emotion. I feel like we at that age and that state in mind where we can do positive confrontations. Like, when I confront you, it doesn't mean that now I'm gonna be like, no, what you just said, it didn't really sit well with me. because of A, B, and C. And the person will understand. And in the same breath, they will never do it again because you basically have said that I did not like what you said. That's the first one. The second one, mentally allocating time to actually deal with the emotion. Guys, you need to put timers on your phones and say, okay, I'm allowing myself to deal with this thing now for the next hour. But after the hour, I'm done. This one, I learned when my psychiatrist actually told me I need to allocate worry time into my day. So that's basically the time when I am allowing all emotions, anything and everything that is happening to me, I deal with it at that point, right? So in the same breath, you need to ensure that things don't drag out. Don't drag out for that long. I still do it. I still do it. But I slowly realize that it is taking too much than I can give, basically. Like, to make an example, let's say if me and my husband have a disagreement and I go into a mood or something, and after a couple of hours or an hour, you'll see me coming back, like let's say if he's in the room, and be like, "Hey, but," because it is taking so much from me. I have dealt with whatever emotion or whatever we were arguing about at that time, but now I want to move on from it. And then when I'm in that state of moving away from it, then we revert back and we discuss and be like, okay, I didn't like A, B, and C. And we move on. Guys, stop. Don't deal with the real things when you're in a state of harmful emotions, because you're going to say things you're going to regret. So allocate time to deal with the emotion. And after that, you switch off and you move on. Easier said than done. Cool. Number 3, talking to someone about your emotions. There is nothing horrible than being tortured about something and you want to bring it all out. Have a confidant. Talk to someone about how you're feeling. I have my husband, I have my sister, I have my friends, depending on the situation and the severity of it and who I think will be the best person for me to talk about it. Cool. And number 4, understanding how you got there in the first place. This is now where your journaling is very important, where you actually, now you're at home, you're thinking and you're upset about what this person said to you. How did you get there? You got there because this person said this to you. However, you didn't confront the person. So now you're stuck with the harmful emotion. How did you get there in the first place? Could be work. Something happens at work, and all of a sudden, a couple of hours later, you're just fuming, out of control. Just sit. Yes, allow the emotion to take over, but at some point, and be like, how did I even get here in the first place? And lastly, distancing yourself from the event. There's certain things that you don't need to repeat it because it's going to give you the same emotion. The certain people you don't need because they're constantly bringing out the harmful emotions. You get it? Distance yourself from things that bring you the harmful emotion because you've encountered it a couple of times. You end up in the same similar situation all the time. Do something about it. Step away from the situation, reflect. Especially if you're someone like me who's like, okay, you come home and you think about it and you're like, okay, I confronted this person, they doing the thing again, they constantly doing the thing all over again. Okay, I think now it's time to call it quits and you move on. Guys, you came alone in this world. You don't need anybody to keep tormenting you in such a manner and you keep saying, I need them. People that need you or that feel as though they are able to give to that need will never treat you in such a way that when you say, I don't like what you're doing, they're constantly doing it again. If you say to someone, I don't like what you're doing, and they acknowledge and never do it again, then those people, they're actually bringing out their helpful emotions. So that's basically that. And it's a bit heavy, on the heavy side, but I just was going through my list of topics and I was like, how did I miss this topic? Because I'm a firm believer of eliminating harmful emotions. I'm not saying I don't have any. Look, seclusion, separation, denial, withdrawal, and fear, those are things I deal with on a constant. However, you just need to learn to manage, and it's basically mostly important for you to identify, how did you even get there? In that way, you start eliminating your harmful emotions in order to bring out your helpful informations. I hope you'll enjoy this video, and I hope you'll have a beautiful Sunday with your family. I'll be back again next week, and please be on the lookout on Wednesday for that written content on Facebook. Have a beautiful Sunday and a blessed day and a blessed week and a productive week. Love you all. Bye.